Electro and Bono Movie Power Hour. You know what? Where's Hawk at? Listener discretion advised. Hands in.
Welcome to the Electro and Bono Movie Power Hour. I am Electro, of course.
Yo, what up? This is Bono.
And we are back again with another exciting edition of the
I'm
Movie
excited.
Power Hour. We are movie lovers here, of course, but it's very important to say, like, you know what? We are not critics, right?
No.
We're not critics. You and I are not in the industry in any fucking way. This is a podcast from just your average Mexican American
Yeah.
movie goer. I go more than Bono, but we still watch a lot of, probably more movies than your average person does.
Yeah.
I don't know how much.
I like to look at it as I generally consume a film, but I watched a lot of them because of you. You have more of an obsession with these things.
Yeah.
You know? It's not a bad thing.
No, I mean, I could be obsessed with hookers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could be obsessed with a lot of very bad things. Movies is not a bad thing to be obsessed
But
with.
you're not obsessed with hookers? What do you
mean,
who's not obsessed?
that goes without saying. I don't have to say that.
You know this.
Yeah.
By listening to this podcast.
But yeah, so I mean, dude, all the takes are out there in the other movie podcasts. You're hearing the takes from the critics. You're hearing the takes from the actors, from people behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
How about you want to listen to your average Joe?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We're the movie goers. We're the people that they're making these movies for.
Right.
They're not making them for the critics. If you're making a movie for a critic, you're a piece of shit.
I mean, the movies are made like that.
I know. And I'm telling you guys are pieces of shit. If you're making a movie to win awards, fuck you. You should be making a movie just to entertain.
Right.
Fucking Proximo, he wanted those gladiators to go out there and do what?
Entertain. Exactly. Win the crowd.
Win the crowd and you win your freedom.
Absolutely.
Talking to all you filmmakers out there. We are the crowd. You have to win us, you sons of bitches.
Exactly.
And we're here to say, because all these critics, they have their take.
Right.
We speak for the fucking people, okay?
Right.
The dopers.
Yes. Yes. The real people.
The drunks. the street dwellers.
Yeah, those who go to the theater already blazed up and ready with a 16-ounce minimum, 22 if they got it, and if they don't got it, it's coming in. Either
Whatever.
way.
We're bringing them in.
We're in for the journey. That's what this podcast is.
That's the essence of it.
Mm-hmm. and some people have a different perspective. Like how you said, some people are just there to entertain. But, there's a lot of other people who just watch movies to watch a movie. It's the thing to do. Mm-hmm. And we turn that switch on every once in a while. We were talking about it.
Yeah.
We love some good movies. They're awful, but they're good. And some people, really, really relate to that. But now, this is what you want to hear. Yeah. I don't want to hear the fucking critic and the key grip. And I mean, I do, but hey, you know what? That's an extra little note that we could add to this. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Yes.
But I want my directors and studios to be like fucking Maximus and say, are you not entertained?
Exactly.
You fucker. Here you go.
You're not doing it for the fucking Oscar. This is what I'm fucking really talking about right now. This is the journey we're about to embark on. So the Oscar nominations just came out. Everybody has their favorite movies of the year. Bono didn't watch as many this year, but it is becoming my mission to make him watch, and for me to watch, a lot of the movies that have been nominated this year.
You're obsessed, is what I'm getting at.
What I'm getting at is that I fucking hate the Oscars. Their decisions are so fucking mind-blowing. As somebody, like I'm saying, just your regular movie enthusiast consumer.
Right.
Who is in the know about everything that's coming out. I choose to watch what I choose to watch.
Right.
And the movies that are being recognized are not the movies that should be being recognized. And so I haven't seen half of these films. So what we're going to do in the next couple of episodes leading up to the Oscars and maybe a little after is we are going to try to watch all these Oscar films.
Yeah.
and we're going to try to be objective about it.
Mm-hmm.
But mainly, I think I just want to do this to watch all these movies and just say, yeah, they were not as good as Dune 2.
Right.
And why the fuck isn't Dune 2 like more recognized in this fucking shit?
Well, it's the tell of the time. Look at where we're at right now. Look at what's going on. Our country is going through some shit. You know, it's got to figure itself out.
Don't make this political.
I'm not. I'm just saying. You know, the people who enjoy these movies, and
I'm just saying that Donald Trump is our leader.
Doesn't like movies. Doesn't have time for them.
Well, Sebastian Stan right now has been nominated for an Oscar for portraying Donald Trump in a movie. Wow. A movie that is on the list for us to watch.
Okay.
And Donald Trump has come out and said that the movie's like, I don't know his exact quote, but he's not happy with it.
He's not a fan, huh?
And what an interesting time to be alive, where this guy just went into office and there's a guy nominated for an Oscar for portraying him.
And also, you know, that I hate to say it, but is that like pushed, right? And now, everything's a conspiracy. No, it's like, that's the push. We already know this with the fucking, you told me what? 13 nominations for an Oscar for
Emilia Perez.
Exactly. So this is the time we're living in.
So this is when I saw the Oscar nominations came out a couple of days ago.
Right.
And you see that Emilia Perez is nominated for 13 Oscars, which is like only like 3 or 4 movies in the history of the Oscars have been nominated for that many Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like fucking Titanic and fucking
Avatar, maybe?
Like, I don't know.
Maybe not.
Like Lord of the Rings, I think is one of them.
Okay.
I can't remember the others, but they're like these large films. Like Lord of the Rings was a fucking
big production, big everything.
But not only that, it was like a moment in time where it was like you're waiting for the movies. The next one's coming out next year.
Right.
Those 3 years were like the 3 years of Lord of the fucking Rings.
Right.
And something similar is happening with Dune 2, where they were like, okay, like there was 3 Lord of the Rings movies. They didn't really win Oscars until the third one and it was finished. Like they didn't want to give him the Oscars for 1 and 2 because there wasn't going to be a third one.
Right.
And the third one is, I think, the worst one.
The least, yeah.
I mean, whatever. It's a fine conclusion to the journey that you've been on. It's also the fault of having 3 massive ass movies. You can't help but probably be disappointed with how it's going to end.
Right.
Whatever you've built up in your mind is too fucking strong. The Spider-Verse 3 is probably going to suck.
No, I don't think so.
I think it just got delayed another to 2027 or some shit.
That's not good.
So I'm saying the amount that movie's going to build in yours and my mind, by the time we see it, we're going to be like, oh.
Dude, my kids love the fucking Spider-Verse, man. We did Tobey Maguire, bro. Of course they loved it. Giorgio is loving Spider-Man and Hulk right now. He is those characters right now.
Good.
He's hulking around, going up to his brother. But we need those films. We need that. And we know that those are good fucking films. And when you look at these, like how you're telling me, and of course you have a very interesting perspective on the Oscars and stuff like that. But it's also because you do consume a lot of this film, both in physical media and going to the movies, or just simply watching whatever's kind of pushing the map of films for the year. Right? These are the people who are on top. And you know, we get into all of these and we get graced with these movies that can be really pushy, really good, or, you know, complete flops.
Yeah. My point is, and I know that you have not seen Dune 2, which you will see.
I saw Dune 1.
You will see, for us to have ultimately the discussion that I want to have, you have to see Dune 2. But when it comes to best direct motherfucker who did this the best, there is no fucking argument that this motherfucker did it better than anybody else last year.
Right.
And for you to not even recognize him, let's say at least recognize the son of a bitch. If he doesn't win, fuck. All right, maybe he'll win for part 3. But to not even recognize him, I watched that movie in IMAX, and I'm telling you, it was one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Right.
some of the stuff that I was seeing on film, like I was like, I've never, like, that looks so good, so clean. Like everything about this is like beautiful to look at.
Right.
And the score and the performances, everything, the way that movie ramps up and the message it's telling, like everything about that movie is great. And it is as grand as movies get when you're talking about like Lord of the Rings and shit. Like when you watch Lord of the Rings 2 and that battle at the end happens, that's what we were all looking forward to.
Absolutely.
And then when it happens, what? It's fucking awesome.
It is. It fucking is.
There's shit like that in Dune 2.
Right.
When you're like waiting for some shit and then some shit happens and then you're just like, that was fully satisfied.
Right.
And that was amazing to see in the giant fucking screen.
Right.
You're not going to have that experience, which is too bad. Mm-hmm. But at least we're watching it at home.
Right.
And I'm sure you can still see that once you see that movie that like, dude, that is a master being masterful.
Right. It's really showcasing the capability and production availability.
Yeah. And for him to not be recognized is what are we even doing?
It's an insult.
What are you even doing with this show?
Right.
Why is this show if you're really not going to recognize?
Yeah, but see, then
the
again,
best.
Yeah, and it goes back to these people who are in charge, who are on the up and up of doing all of these things, giving out these awards, handing out these prestiges, right? And, you know, not to go too crazy, but that's part of the obsession that I say that you do have, because your general consumer, myself, like I'll watch this film in a theater, but I'm not seeking the IMAX experience. You do seek that because it deserves the respect, and I have, but it's not like all the fucking time. You know that these films, much like Oppenheimer and everything, that Interstellar, right, the release that came out and all that, you know, you want to experience that to its full immersion because that's the production value that it carries. But the general people don't give a fuck about that.
Right.
They want to see some quick, flashy shit, and it's not to say that I don't understand or we don't understand or understand why these movies are made the way that they are. But it's like, at some point now, that's going to be recognized like, hey, we're really taking a piss here. Like, no one gives a fuck about this.
So we're going to, Bono already watched Emilia Perez because I told him about it, so he watched it. I haven't watched it yet, but we're going to watch this film.
Right.
And Bono already has his opinion on it.
Yeah. Well, I saw a clip from the Golden Globes, right? Because they just happened.
Right.
And it was the clip of the musical trans operation scene of that film. So it kind of gave you that, like, hey, this is the push that this movie is going to have, without giving you the depth of the story. As far as a general consumer that's just looking at clips on the Golden Globes, which is how I got my version of the Golden Globes. I know you make the day out of it and get popcorn and shit.
Way. I didn't watch a second of the Golden Globes.
Okay.
Same thing with the Oscars. The only reason I paid more attention to it last year was because they were actually recognizing fucking Christopher Nolan.
Right.
And part of the reason why I've hated the Oscar before is when they would not be like, when Nolan would direct a movie and shit, and he's up there, and I'm like, yeah, he had the best movie, and they're giving it to somebody else. It's like, okay, this stupid awards show is not fucking doing it right.
Right.
So they're back to their bullshit this year, and
the traditional bullshit.
Yeah, this Emilia Perez movie is. We're gonna see what the fuck, you know. And
knowing all of that is what makes this show the most credible show to listen to. 100%.
We're gonna give it to you like
straight. Give it to you straight.
We haven't mapped out exactly which movies we're gonna watch, but also I want to watch some of the other movies that maybe didn't really get a lot of Oscar nominations, but were also on a lot of people's top list as best film of the year. So I really want us to watch all the movies that people said were the best movies last year. Right. And let's see where you and I fucking come to terms, or do we agree, disagree?
Right.
And at the end of the day, we're gonna fucking find out if the Oscars are a big fucking sham.
Right.
Which I think they are.
Yeah, make your own conclusion here. But at the same time, let me save you some time. Let me help you out a little bit.
Listen to us. Don't listen to them.
Yeah.
God damn
This is where you want to tune in to hear the real shit.
Yeah. So anyways, we're going to start off this journey talking about Challengers, directed by Luca Guadagnino. This movie's synopsis: Tashi, a former tennis prodigy turned coach, transformed her husband into a champion, but to overcome a recent losing streak and redeem himself, he'll need to face off against his former best friend and Tashi's ex-boyfriend.
Whoa.
Intrigue, my man.
Drama is what that sounds like.
A lot of drama. The cast of this film stars Mike Faist as Art Donaldson, Josh O'Connor as Patrick Zwig, and Zendeya as Tashi Donaldson. Luca Guadagnino, do you know who that is? Bono?
No, who is that? You kind of came into this, you're like, I'm a fan of his work. I've been watching all of the stuff that he does.
Not all of it. So I looked at his IMDb and I have seen some of his shit.
So, everything. You've watched all of them, right?
No.
Is what you're telling me. That's what you're telling us.
No. Let's see here. He hasn't directed much. Well, a lot of shorts. Okay, so he directed this movie, Call Me By Your Name, which I have not seen.
Okay.
Oh, damn, he's directed a lot, actually. A lot of shorts. So he directed this movie, Call Me By Your Name. I've never seen it.
Right.
Yeah, it's the Armie Hammer, Timothy Chalamet gay movie.
Okay.
I've never seen it. It's supposed to be very good. It has a 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb. This movie I have seen. That movie came out in 2017. 2018, next year, he directed the remake to Suspiria. This movie is fucking gnarly. I love this film.
Okay.
Witches being witches, my man. Just fucked up body horror, fucking hexing bitches, fucking disgusting stuff.
Cool.
Witches with meat hooks. How about that?
Oh.
They use a lot of meat hooks.
It's been a while. It's been a couple summers ago, you know what I mean?
Oh, speaking of.
What do you mean? What are you saying right now?
There's going to be another I Know What You Did Last Summer movie.
Shit.
And guess who?
Who?
It's back, baby.
Oh, shit.
Love Hewitt.
Wow.
They brought her back.
Legacy style.
Oh,
huh?
yeah.
Love it. Well, they did it with Scream too, and that's okay. I'll take that anytime.
I Know What You Did Last Summer was always the weaker Scream.
Right.
It was the same thing.
Yeah.
It was just.
Well, you had Love Hewitt in front of it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Exactly.
Is it better?
No, well.
Is it way, way, way better?
Maybe now is her time. Now she can really go for it and really take over that whole fan base.
She might win an Oscar the way these fucking things are going. They'll nominate any asshole for this.
No, she's a kind woman. Right? We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, since then, I haven't seen some good.
So I watched Suspiria. These are all short films.
All right. You didn't watch Salvatore, huh?
Nope. He directed Bones and All. Did you watch that movie?
I don't think so.
Timothy Chalamet movie about cannibals. Cannibals in Love.
Wow.
Interesting movie. It's fucked up. I mean, I liked it. There's vision there, you know. Chalamet, he's on the come up.
Right. Funny, dude.
That was in 2022, and then his next movie is Challengers. And he directed also this year this movie called Queer with Daniel Craig.
I was going to ask you about that one.
It didn't get very good reviews, but there was a lot of talk about Daniel Craig probably getting nominated, but not being deserved of a nomination. And he didn't end up getting nominated.
Wow.
Yeah. But as we're talking about Challengers here, this was expected. Like a lot of people, a lot of critics, a lot of top 10 lists had Challengers on that list, and they were expecting this movie to at least get some Oscar nominations. Mainly, I think if nothing else got nominated, the score is what was really getting pushed because it was done by Trent Reznor. And What's it? Atticus Finch? I don't know. That might be Atticus Ross, Atticus Finch. I think that's the character from To Kill a Mockingbird. Something like that. They did the score, and they did the score to The Social Network and the Ninja Turtles movie. So they did a score to this movie, and it is definitely like unique. The use of music in this film.
Yeah.
Like real techno.
Yeah, like arcade almost, like arcade sounds. 8-bit style.
Yeah, and it like gives this movie, I gotta give it a lot of credit for its style.
Yeah.
The way it's shot, the music, the sound. We're gonna get into some sounds in this movie. I don't know what you thought about some of these sounds in this film. You know what I'm talking about?
What sounds? Oh, the grunting?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's tennis. Yeah.
But also, this movie has a super repressed, like, these dudes are super gay for each other. Yeah, extremely gay.
Not to spoil it, but yeah. Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think that's what I got from this movie. That these dudes were just, like, completely in love with each other.
Right. Exactly.
And some chick just fucking were like, these guys are awesome.
Right.
I'm gonna fuck with both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was Challengers. Next movie.
What the
Challengers
score
opened on April 26th, earlier in the year. IMDb 7.1 out of 10, 88% Rotten Tomato score, 75% audience score. The budget 55 mil. That's a pretty penny.
Right.
Opening weekend, it made 15 million. US and Canada, it got 50 mil. Worldwide, 96.
Right.
Runtime of 2 hours and 11 minutes. Opening week, it opened at number 1.
Wow.
It opened at number 1. Number 2, Unsung Hero. What the fuck is that? Do you know what that is?
I have no idea what the fuck that is. If you don't know, I don't know, dude.
It opened 7 mil.
Lionsgate, though.
Lionsgate doing the damn thing.
Yep.
Number 3, Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. Civil War was it there at number 4. Abigail at number 5. 6, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. 7, Kung Fu Panda 4, of course. Number 8, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Number 9, Dune 2.
Dune was down there?
Dune 2 was in its 9th week of release.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
Yeah. Boy Kills World. Alien re-release at number 11. I went to go see that. That was awesome. And the Mummy re-release, I also went to go see.
Nice,
I went to the movie theater twice that week to see Alien and the Mummy.
That's awesome.
It was very fucking awesome. I loved watching Alien on the big screen.
Right.
I went to go see the Mummy.
Right.
We didn't go see the first one. I went to go see the first one in the movie theater, and I told you all about it for like a year until
it came out. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I remember being really scared watching The Mummy when I was in the movie theater.
Wow, okay.
The Mummy was...
I mean,
The Mummy scared me. And when I was little in the movie theater, the bug thing fucked with me.
That is freaky, though. That's for everyone.
I closed my eyes during that shit.
Yeah, fuck a mummy. Yeah, you don't want scarabs running at you. When
that thing is crawling in that dude's skin, I was like, no, my... 11-year-old little boy mind couldn't grasp that.
You can see it crawling.
It goes in his head.
Yeah, man. Pretty awful.
Yeah.
So I can see that.
So I went to go see it, and there was a woman, pretty grown woman, sitting 2 seats away from me and my lady.
Left or right?
To our right, sitting next to her.
Okay.
There's 2 seats in between us.
Right.
She was saying all the lines from the movie, and she was like, yeah. like the whole time.
Yeah.
And like when something it was both like really funny and like that's sweet and also like incredibly annoying.
Right.
You know, when Benny betrays him or whatever, she'd be like, he shouldn't have done that.
Right.
Just like commentary like that the entire movie.
Right.
And when the lights came on, well, because I go to the movies a lot.
Right.
When the lights came on, it was one of the bitches that works there.
Wow.
And I wanted to be like, you work here. You should know better than
right.
Fucking screaming out in between a movie.
Right.
Especially a movie that I fucking love and I've been waiting to see in the movie theater for 25 years.
But also, it's these obsessed people that I'm talking about. You know, you get a different experience from that. You know, one that I haven't really experienced. But even that, you're a part of that group, man.
Yeah, but I'm not fucking. Well, I other than having a podcast,
right?
I try to keep that pretty secretive. For the longest, I used to do a podcast with a buddy James and Jonesy, and through all of that, like I would hide and be ashamed of how much I knew about movies.
Right.
And if you asked me who directed something, I probably knew. Or if you asked me what year it came out, I probably knew.
Right.
And then it became like a thing, right? They would just throw something out there and then I would know it.
Right.
But I'd always be so embarrassed that I did know it.
I mean.
So I don't fucking go out there flaunting it.
Right.
And I definitely don't go to a movie and scream the line.
Right.
I keep it in.
Right.
Other than being at the movies every week, although I haven't been to the movies because there's nothing good out.
Can you imagine the shit you would say if you were to actually do that? You know what I mean? That'd be fucking some wild stuff. Watching a Tarantino film will be hilarious.
Yes.
Some outrageous shit's gonna come out. But I mean, number 14, not bad. First Omen right into that. Shit.
Pretty good. That's the opening week of Challengers.
Wow.
Let's play this little game. It's kind of fun. So I made 50 in the US.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see how it did in Europe, Middle East, and Africa.
Okay,
really quick.
Let's see.
So Belgium invested with 870. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
France 3.7. Germany 3.5. They went, we like the challenges.
We like the challenges.
Yeah,
I like them.
That's a pretty good white man playing the tennis. Very strong. What do we got here? 4.7 million in Italy.
Wow.
In Lithuania, this bombed
97,000.
This fucking bombed in Lithuania.
Wow.
Unfortunately, Netherlands came in with 1.9.
Well, they got time.
Norway, 462,000.
Wow.
Better than Lithuania.
Honestly, yeah. I'm surprised by that.
Poland 1.3. Portugal.
Wow.
547.
Why does he sound Russian?
I don't know. Romania, $216,000.
Yeah, you just sound like Dracula.
Serbia and Montenegro, $93,000.
Ooh.
Slovakia, 121. Spain, 1.5.
Well, okay.
Spanish didn't give a shit.
Well,
the UK, it made it 8.
Right.
Let's see, Mexico 2.7.
Wow.
Mexico, what's up with Mexico? There's not a lot of movie going on over there.
I mean, I guess.
Or maybe they got their own shit, I guess.
Yeah, they got their own stuff to do, dude.
But you'd think that they would contribute a little bit more.
I mean, it's not like Challengers is a blockbuster film or some shit like that, you know?
Well, it made 97 worldwide isn't bad.
No, it's not. But I'm just saying, like, it's different. It's not like an old school.
Yeah,
it's not a franchise.
I don't know how big tennis is in
I mean, 2 million in sales isn't too bad either. You know, some people like tennis, I guess.
Yeah.
Are you one of these people? Do you like tennis?
No. No. Anyway, let's get to the nitty gritty.
Okay.
Of this fucking film. So, what's that movie that we just watched? Strange Darling.
Mm-hmm.
That movie jumps all over the fucking place.
Right.
Challengers jumps all over the fucking place. How did you feel about that in this movie?
I didn't mind it because it tried to make something uninteresting very interesting. So
it's true.
You know what I mean?
I think I was annoyed by it at first because I was confused and I was just like, why are you doing this?
Right.
Why are we seemingly going back to 3 different timelines, you know? And I'm like, come on, can you just give me the fucking story?
I need to watch the match. Let's see what happens at the end of the match.
Yeah.
And I can make my own thing.
So the movie starts. Didn't this movie remind you a lot of 7 Days in Hell?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, fuck this.
Fuck no.
Yeah. Exactly.
But it seems like this match is starting in the 7th day of hell.
Right.
From 7 days to
exactly.
hell. Like they just fucking.
This was it.
They've been going at it for a long time. This is finally the last match.
The trophy ceremonies, all of it was just playing in my head. I was like, God damn, I can't watch this.
I can't watch it.
It's so good.
7 Days in Hell, if you have not seen that, is way better than Challengers.
It didn't need to be that long.
If you want to know about tennis, and if you want to know what a fucking fucking genius Will Forte is,
right?
7 Days in Hell, dude. He's so good in that movie.
Yeah, and Sandberg too. I mean,
Sandberg's hilarious. Everybody's so good in that show. Very good. That should have won the Oscar this year.
Exactly.
So anyway, it starts off with this match, and then it goes back in time. Where does it go back? Does it go back to them just being boys, or she's already in the picture? Because it goes back to 2 different timelines, right?
Yeah, it goes back to them and competing in juniors as fucking high school kids. So it's like the kid version of them doing the friend thing and competing on a higher than average level, right? And then by that, they're exposed to a world where it's mixed in with prodigies or bred up athletes, and Zendaya is
one of
yeah, she's one of these people. Tashi, sorry. And he's like, bro, you got to check this person out, like this and that, blah blah blah, hyping up a girl where it just seems like it from right away. You gonna get the vibe. You kind of see, you're like, hey, what's up with these guys, right?
They're like way too close, right?
Yeah, super close, super weird.
They talk to each other like inches away from each other. Like they're about to make out at any fucking second.
Right.
They're like uncomfortably close with each other. Like,
they're comfortable.
They're they're uncomfortable to us.
Yeah.
But like they're super comfortable and seemingly they haven't done anything sexual.
They're just high school kids, right?
They're just fucking boys.
Yeah, they're just homies kicking it.
And you know, you might relate to that or you don't. Like when you're in high school, like you do latch onto somebody, right? Like
I just wanna, I'll ask Caesar, your friend, how many conversations has been
that close?
That close to you?
How have your lips almost touched?
While in high school, huh?
How close did you guys?
I'm trying to figure out challenges, okay? I'm trying to see what's going on.
I'm seeing a lot of things, a lot of patterns.
I need to see what's going on over here. They're wowed by Tashi.
Yeah, so who I think so Art is the fucking blondie.
Correct.
And Patrick is curly haired fuck.
Right. Right.
And it's set up that Patrick is like the better tennis player. Art knows it.
Right.
They play together and Art will ask Patrick to like make him look good or to not beat him.
It's like, hey, let me win. Yeah. And it'll carry me this way and you will still be at the top and it's okay. Just let me have this.
Yeah. And Patrick is seemingly okay with, like, he doesn't care as much. Right. Patrick is just there, just thriving on this homosexual fucking like energy.
Right.
This repressed homosexuality between both of them.
Mm-hmm.
He's drawing a lot of energy from it. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Art, I don't know. I think he's fighting those demons more. He's not as free.
He's fighting, but he knows that he needs to do a couple things to get ahead. You know what I mean?
He's like my boy Bono says, he's a sleaze.
Yeah, a little sleazebag action going on, right?
He's the sleaze. At the end of this movie, whatever, I think I hated...
They're all hateable people, yeah.
But I hated Zendeya and fucking Art way more than I hated Patrick.
Absolutely.
Like, Patrick is kind of just like a free spirit in there.
Right.
These other two are like manipulative little bitches.
Well, that's the thing too. Like what I did like about this story is that pretty early on they give it to you, even though they're in the situation, right? They're at some award ceremony after they competed. They had just won a double, right? Because they were a team. What were they? Fire and Ice or some shit like that.
A little Blaze of Glory.
Blaze of Glory, exactly. Took a little from that. You know what I mean?
Luca Guadagnino did his research.
Not gay though. Okay.
Not as gay.
Not gay because it's not gay. But you know,
Michael Murray is ice skating.
Yeah. Boom. You know. Maybe just the outfits, but anyway. Again, you have athletes with natural ability who do it and might not give a fuck about it.
Yeah.
You see it on all levels of sports.
Right.
You know, soccer being a big one where there's a lot of money involved, and there's some people who get the money after playing, but they come from, you know, a different background, the hood or whatever, and they make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
And that's kind of Zwig's character, where Art is like the introduction. They both fucking love this woman immediately.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, we can talk to her. We can invite her to our motel to have a beer or two, considering that they're high school kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you're kind of like, okay, well, you see the moves, you see what you're doing here. One doesn't necessarily give a fuck, but then through conversation, you see that their lives are very different.
Yeah.
Their paths are going to be very different. And she completely exploits that to her full gain for her to be able to be like, well, I kind of want to get dicked down by both of these dudes. So I'm going to dangle that and see where it goes. And the main introduction there for Art's character is that he's an educated boy. He's going to Stanford and she's going to Stanford as well. Mm-hmm. So it gives you this different feel. And then you see that manipulative mind going, saying, hey, well, I can set this up and continue to fucking do this shit. Or by default, I mean, at least the way she projects, and like her characters are all pretty similar, but the give a fuck attitude to it is like really kind of like, ugh.
Yeah. So they go back. You're seeing the 7 Days in Hell fight, match. And then you go back. And so you see how when they were young, basically Patrick is the one with the raw fucking talent, and he should be the one that is going to be the great tennis player.
Right.
But as the story plays out, you find out that Art is actually the one that kind of made it and is making a living.
Right.
Fucking very successful tennis player.
Right.
And Patrick's straight up living in his fucking car.
Right.
You know, just like kind of going tennis match to tennis match. Relying on Tinder to fucking get a place to stay that night. Relying on his fucking six-pack and horny tennis groupies to have a fucking place to stay, which all power to him.
Yeah.
That's great.
Makes it work. You know, imagine if he was on a set schedule, you know, he'd be invincible.
So then, both of them know about this chick. They see her at the party. Both of them are completely into her. Art is a pussy. He's not going to do anything. Patrick goes right for it.
Right.
But Art is right next to him the whole time, getting in there, you know?
Right.
And, you know, she's a sneaky bitch.
Yeah.
You know what she does? She really gives them what they want.
Right.
She just lets them tricks them into making out. And there's no way they didn't know they were making out with each other.
Yeah, no.
And they make out with each other long and hard.
Yeah. That was on screen for a while.
A long time. I texted Lily after I watched this movie because she had already seen it, right? Mm-hmm. So I texted her. I was like, I watched Challengers. And she's like, what'd you think? I was like, I really liked it. And I was like, it was way gayer than I thought it was going to be.
Right.
And then she was like, it only had one gay moment. And I was like, that's not how I saw it.
No.
This whole movie was like a
super
real,
gay. Almost
love story, but it's between them. She's just like there because as the movie goes on, she is unable to play tennis anymore. She hurts herself.
Right.
And she can't play tennis anymore. So she's living her tennis aspirations through these fucking guys.
Right.
She physically can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And she knows that they're both like great. And as the movie goes on, Patrick, since he's the one with like the charm and outgoing attitudes, like he's not shy.
Right.
Art is obviously Tashi goes with him.
Right.
And she also, after she tricks them into making out, she's just like, you guys both fucking play each other tomorrow. Winner gets me.
Right.
Ultimate tennis groupie whore.
Correct.
She's just like, go out there. And then, so they go out there and they play the perfect fucking game, 7 days in hell style.
Yeah.
The perfect match.
Right.
And then Patrick wins. And then Art was just like, dude, let me win. Patrick's like, hell no, I want to bang this chick too.
Right.
But it's really weird how like in the movie, it's kind of like, I'm gonna bang her because I want to bang you, or like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it got pretty crazy, but even early on, okay, so after that point, that's kind of accepted, right? Art accepts that this dude is boning down to this bitch, and he's not
getting a little cooked, but
a little cooked, but he's also just like the outside friend.
Yeah,
he's got his own thing going to Stanford.
He's got his scheme the whole time.
Uh-huh.
The whole time he's trying to, he knows Patrick is with her, but he's trying to find his
opening,
his angle. And like they're telling him, like, he's like, you slept with her, right? You definitely slept with her. And great scene too.
Very good scene.
Where they, he's just like, I'm not going to tell you. He's like, fine, don't tell me. But like,
give me a sign.
Give me a signal. And the signal is the tennis ball on the racket.
Right.
That
Very
pays
good.
off so beautifully at the end of the movie. But he's so involved. So let's say between you and me, right? Like we were at one point in our lives like super close where we would tell each other everything. Would you and me be like, tell me if you banged her, dude? Like we're not that like that's a closeness where fucking and for me to be like, no, dude, and for you to be like, seriously, dude, tell me if you banged her.
Right.
Like, no, we would never fucking
go into that.
No.
Yeah.
Like I really need to know if you banged that.
Right.
That's a level of closeness to somebody and direct jealousy being expressed.
Right.
And the other guy being like, I don't want to hurt your feelings or whatever.
Right.
But so whatever.
So his angle, knowing Zwig's personality and everything, that he knows he's going to be there to pick up the pieces. Art is.
Exactly.
He's going to be the safety net, and in turn making her safe. Well, also, I mean, it's part of his scheme too because of the whole coaching. Like he needs to be better than this guy in some form.
Yeah.
Whether he's banging her or not. Because, I mean, they really had no fucking...
They played
sexual chemistry, those two.
They played tennis for her. He won. And now he's trying to like, I don't know, he still needs to be in there and be a part of it. You can't just let it go.
Right.
So then they start going like the movie's jumping back and forth like crazy, and eventually it's pretty genius because at first the stories are like whatever, you're just kind of getting the setup, but then real dramatic shit starts to happen in both timelines, and it'll cut in the part where you're finally like, oh shit, what's gonna happen, and then it takes you back to the other part. You're like, fuck,
right,
and then that moment keeps going, and then that moment gets to a point where you're like, oh shit, and then it jumps again. You're like, son of a bitch. Like, and at the end of the day, you're like, fuck, it's kind of genius.
It's done really well.
They're like fucking with me this whole
and again,
they're just tickling your balls, aren't they?
Making something that's not that interesting.
Very interesting. You're right. Time jumps forward. Tashi and Art are both going to Stanford together.
Yeah.
And Art has to be a little bit of a sleaze, and he's over here trying to have dinner with her. This is where his like master plan starts going. He starts kind of talking shit about Patrick and being like, I don't think he loves you and shit. And then this bitch is like, hey, fuck you. Like, stay the fuck out of our fucking business. Like, what the fuck are you trying to do right now? You know? And her also being like, you're like the worst friend ever, which I don't know. You could take it both ways. You're like, you're either a bad friend to me because you're trying to fuck me, or you're a terrible friend to your best friend for trying to fuck his girlfriend. You know? Like, you're the worst fucking friend. And he's still like, oh, no, I just had like extra lunch credits and I didn't want them to go to waste. Like, it's always an excuse. Dude, if you're gonna be a scumbag and try to steal your fucking best friend's girl, then go for it. Don't be pussyfooting about it and being like, oh, I just had extra lunch. Take credit for your shit. Own up to your shit.
Take accountability and own it.
And then so homie's coming, Patrick's coming to visit that weekend. And Art's like all trying to like hang out with Patrick, and Patrick's like, bro, like I came to fucking bang Tashi and shit. Like, I came to spend time with her, not really spend time with you. And now Art's got it in Tashi's head about Patrick. And then so Patrick and Tashi are gonna get down, and she's talking about tennis the whole time. Like, you need to improve this in your game. That's like her foreplay. That's what turns her on. Like, good tennis. So she starts telling him how to play while they're getting ready to fuck. And he's just like, bitch, like, don't fucking tell me how to fucking play. And this is where Tashi starts to realize, oh, I can't control this guy. This guy's always going to do whatever the fuck he wants to do.
He is, in fact, this reckless.
Yeah. And Art might not have the fucking raw talent that this guy has, but he will do anything I ask him to do.
Correct.
So that's where the fucking switch
dude, she's also very sleaze. Super sleaze, dude. She knows what she's doing. She'll be hurt by the comments because she holds herself to such a level, but then recognizes, hey, this is not a safe bet for me. I need to take care of myself. Because she even says it herself, I don't just want to be a person who's known for hitting a ball with a racket. Like, I need to be able to take this further than just that. And they're about to bang. You know, they give you some stuff there. You know, they show you Tashi, right? She goes for it. She does her thing. That's okay. We'll get into that later because of all these other movies as well. But then they get into a fight. Then fucking homeboy's there to watch the tennis match, right? They go into a fight. And is this when she has her injury?
So Patrick and Art were supposed to go watch her play a match with this girl who she completely looks down on, and it's just like, I'm like way better than her. And
they know that that's the case.
She's the prodigy. She's fucking Muhammad Ali or something, like the one that people know. This is the person that's gonna be one of the greats or something, right? But Art and Tashi kind of isolated Patrick over here, so now he's not at the match, and he and Tashi hurts herself being so athletic or whatever that she fucks up her knee. And then this is the last straw that Patrick wasn't there. Art was there. Literally when things fell apart. Her knee fell apart.
Exactly.
And Art is there. And then the moment Patrick shows up at the hospital, she's so fucking pissed off at him because of the fight they had and everything. And now that she basically sees like, shit, I just fucked my shit up. I'm going to be out of this game for a while. And then it's beautiful. By the end of the movie, that chick who she played with is like one of the top.
She's a champ.
Tennis players, and something that Tashi never was able to fucking achieve. Which is fucking
it's
beautiful.
Very brutal. It's brutal on all levels because no level is good, right? You know, Art you kind of feel bad for, but also very sleaze, so you can't feel bad for.
I don't feel bad for Art at all.
Exactly. Super sleaze, and
I feel bad for Patrick more than any of them because he's like poor.
But even to that, like once you get into the development of that side, I also like the way Tashi's character just essentially, she's so aware of all of the things, but she also too doesn't give a fuck and is on a sleaze plan anyways. Because you're seeing it throughout the movie and it's done really well, and that's the thing about like tennis. Their athletes are next level. They're fucking legit athletes, but all the crazy money with the car sponsorships, the product placement. The product placement in this movie was fantastic, but all of that shit's really expensive. It's really
also real, though.
Yeah, it's real. Exactly.
Part of that sport.
Exactly. Shit. You get all these sponsorships, you get all the play, and it looked awesome. And yeah, you see that, and you're like, well, fuck yeah, these people are gonna make it. It's like Tiger Woods, another tremendous fucking athlete for a sport that a lot of people, myself included, don't find too interesting.
But he transcended.
Exactly. These people hold that torch and really take the sport like that. So you believe that you're taken into that. You see Art's character do that.
And Tashi was able to stay in that light with Art, knowing that she could control him. Mm-hmm. She kind of put herself to be in that like power couple position where she's just as known, even though she doesn't play tennis anymore.
She was that good that she essentially took that ability and transferred her knowledge to make this guy a champion.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fucking awesome. Like, if you think about it, I did like that aspect, because even though it's a very terrible way of doing something, there's no loss of the knowledge there. You're really passing on a style, and from go to female to male, which is something you don't really see in fucking sports, but like to do that way, I think was pretty cool. Obviously, we know the Serena Williams fucking thing, which also in 7 days,
we did a reverse blindside.
Exactly. Reverse blind. I need to rewatch
that movie where a white woman takes a black quarterback and he's like, well, my dad flipped that.
So yeah, that movie was this. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's maybe why I enjoyed it even more.
Yeah.
Because all I could think about was 7 Days in Hell.
Yeah, Luca watched that and I was like, I got it.
I'm gonna make a fucking banger. I'm gonna make it a little gayer.
Really gay, actually, for the whole movie. But yeah, you see that, and again, she makes her pick. But yeah, from the get-go, even from them getting out of the juniors going into college, their tension is super on the surface, and it's super noticeable. And maybe if Lil didn't think that, she definitely has like a female perspective on the matter. And not to say that she doesn't know gays, but I'm just saying, with homies and stuff like that, it's a dude bond type shit, right? It's different.
If you're a dude and you have friends, it's not normal for male friends to be that comfortable.
Right.
You can be really comfortable.
For sure.
But not like speak 2 inches from each other's faces comfortable.
Right.
If you're that close to somebody, you're like gonna fight. It's confrontation.
Right.
Not a casual, how was your day?
Right.
Just like there were these looks that Patrick would always be giving Art. Super close, just smiling at him.
Right.
It's like, bro, you're like so in love. I see it in your
so
eyes.
gay.
And I like too, like when Art's kind of starting shit and Patrick's kind of figuring out what he's doing, and Art's like, no, and even Patrick, he's like happy that Art's actually coming out of his shell and trying to go for something. He's like, even though you're trying to fuck my girlfriend, I'm actually like
proud of you. Yeah, exactly.
You're actually like coming out of your shell and like going for something,
right.
Even though it's my fucking bitch.
Right. But also aware that homie's going to Stanford. He's not that type of shit. You know what I mean? He expects that from him, and that's where he's just kind of like rewarded by that. Where he's just kind of like, yeah, finally, you're stepping into your own. You're being your own man, and then becomes a champion because of her coaching. And then I believe after that, it goes back to the scene. They go to the second round. The first round, it's pretty cool the way they do it.
And then, so that's what I'm saying. It's so confusing because it starts with like what seems to be like the end of the match. And then it goes back to them young, and then it goes back to, at first it's like 3 weeks before, and then it's like 1 week before.
Right.
So they're really fucking with the timeline.
Right.
To where then you start seeing the beginning of the matches.
Right.
So you see the first match where like Patrick just fucking hands him his ass and shit. And Tashi also has a way to get in Patrick's head by saying, he's like, dude, I'm going to beat him. I'm going to beat your fucking boy.
Right.
And then she puts it in his head. She's like, you always start off strong, bro. You fucking crumble.
Right.
And you're going to crumble. I'm going to tell you exactly when you're going to crumble.
Right.
Like, you are so cocky, you get so far ahead that you lose sight of the game that you can lose. And she puts that in his head, and it goes down exactly how she fucking tells him.
Right.
To the point where he was so far ahead, and by the end of the game, it's down to the fucking to the wire as to who's gonna win and shit.
Right.
He let him like come back like hella hard.
Yeah, sleaze.
He starts falling apart, just like fucking Tashi fucking said. Mm-hmm. But you don't know exactly why. There's still things being withheld. A lot of sleaze.
A lot of it. It's a lot of scamming going on, man. It's really
scandal.
Yeah, it gives you a real different insight to the world of tennis.
Think Cisco wrote a song about, you should look at that girl. She's so scandalous.
Yeah, yeah.
I think so, right?
Yeah, you're right.
He was really tapping into that.
Yeah,
Cisco.
He knew. He knew early on.
I think the thong song is just like a song about
an anthem.
Thongs? No, you gotta read between the lines, between the thongs. Yeah, you gotta read between the cheeks.
You think Cisco didn't know this?
Come on, he was a poet. Dong, 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 dong. His lyrics are great.
They were. Same verse every time. Didn't change a single thing, and that shit has.
I said I like the way.
That was good. That was good. That thing. It's great.
Yeah, so basically Challengers is the thong song of today.
Tennis. Yeah, of tennis and today.
Yeah, because that song ruled in 1999.
They just, garnished it with a whole lot of gay backstory, and that's what you get.
They made a good one. Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew you just had to add a bunch of gay innuendo in there?
And throw Tosh in the middle of it.
Fucking Zendeya in there. It's fucking conniving.
Just game bag, dude.
Bitch who eventually has like a mom haircut.
Right.
And it's still just this sleaze bag.
Yeah.
Because it all comes to head. So then another super gay moment they have in the sauna where this dude's just like completely naked in front of him, dangling his cock pretty close to his fucking face and stuff.
Right.
And it's like another fucking thing, another power play he's doing. He's like, look, I'm like putting my dong in your... Like, he's not saying it, but now Patrick also knows how to fuck with art.
Right.
And like, Patrick, he's like more like evolved one. He's just, when they're in that sauna and they're like at this point no longer friends, no longer speak to each other. Basically, Art stole your girl, had a family, had the perfect life. You are living in a car now.
Right.
Like,
he's living with a Tinder date.
Yeah. The first scene that you're introduced to Patrick, he's trying to get a room at a hotel and his card won't go through.
Right.
So he can't even stay at a hotel. He has to sleep in his fucking car.
And then the other customers who come in were very gay. Another thing they push on there.
A lot of agendas.
They're showing it to you early on and saying, hey, this is the ride, right? This is where we're going with this, but it's in subtlety.
Yeah, it flew over Lily's head, I guess.
Lil, watch it again.
Or maybe she was kidding when she thought that
you think so?
Wasn't super gay.
She does like Bohemian Rhapsody, and
she loves it.
I recently watched it, and man, I mean, we know, but man, yes, sure, go ahead, show it, but very gay.
Well, duh.
Very gay.
Yeah, so Patrick starts trying to fuck with Art, but Art has like changed. He as at least acting like he's not intimidated by him anymore. He's just like, bro, like, even if you fucking beat me tomorrow, like at the end of the day, I'm still hot shit.
Right.
I'm still the one with the career.
Right.
You've basically threw your fucking career down the fucking drain because you're a not give a fuck guy.
Right.
I was a give a fuck guy. I got to the top of the fucking sport.
Right.
You are nothing. If you beat me tomorrow, it will mean nothing.
Right.
And it's like, Damn.
It's pretty brutal because the win is there, and he knows it too, right? He's like, oh, I could just go to a post. You know, what does he say? You're gonna go to the tennis channel and do commentary, right? It's like that's your road to your legacy of the sport, even though you are champ and gonna do that type of shit, right? So I do like that the full awareness of every situation is so on the surface, but then the characters still decide to be the characters that they are, is really well done.
Yeah.
And not to defend them, but they're each very I mean, it's not even defending. It's just like, you're not going to sugarcoat it. They're just fucking terrible people.
Yes.
All the fucking people in this movie are fucking god awful.
Yeah. It's great.
It's pretty good.
It makes for a great story. Like, this is why fucking chicks love fucking soap operas.
Right.
Shit, dude.
Right.
You get a fucking juicy story, little love triangle.
Right.
This movie is about a woman trying to break guys out of gayness.
Right. She says it herself. I don't want to be a homewrecker because I'm sure like most women or men can see that there's gay in the room and she's going to exploit that. And she completely does. She definitely does that.
Yeah. And then so they also go back and they show interactions between Patrick and Tashi that are going on that we didn't know about.
Right.
And basically Patrick's like, look, dude, I'm going to fucking beat this fucking guy, dude. Like, this is it. His career's over. You know that he's just going to retire after. He doesn't even want to be here. He's here because you are making him be here. You're not letting him do what he wants to do. He's basically living out the life you want to live.
Exactly.
He doesn't want to do this, but he's doing it for you. And he's finally gotten to that point in his life where he's going to do what he wants to do.
Right.
And it's not going to be what you want to do. And you know you're going to fucking leave him.
Right. Right.
Because at the end of the day, you can't live without this shit.
Right.
Guess what? I still have one more run in me, girl. You can coach me and lead me to a championship. And there's another arc for you and your fucking story in tennis, you know?
Still sleazing is what that is. Trying to scheme in the whole.
At this point, I'm just like, you know what? It's kind of fucked up because Art and Tashi have a family and shit.
Right.
But Patrick's just getting his back because he got pretty fucked over by these people. So I'm still with him coming in and disrupting a little bit of their perfect fucking lives.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No remorse for Art in this one because,
I felt no pity.
Clearly. But again, Patrick is aware of who his friend is, and you get these glimpses of truth between each character where they're like, they want to show compassion and are that, but ultimately their choices they make are the complete opposite.
Yeah.
So it throws you in the loop of that where you can understand why they're doing what they're doing, but at the same time, you're not going to morally accept it no matter what. And Tashi does not give a fuck. That girl goes in down to the hour, dude. You know what I mean?
So he's like all telling her, like, I'm going to beat him. I'm going to fucking beat him. It's going to fucking crush him, all this stuff. And then she's just like, please, just let him win, dude.
Right.
Like, I know you could beat him. Like, I know.
Right.
Just let him win, please.
Oh, you know what? I had mentioned earlier in these scenes, again, Zendaya isn't the most pretty. She isn't the most like, wow, look at me type person.
I mean, she's pretty, but I don't know. She's just maybe not that pretty to us. She's not ugly. She's pretty.
I'm just saying, and back to the whole these female.
She's skinny.
Yeah, she's very skinny. She's like
we like meat on the bone.
Yeah, exactly. And she does a couple nips on these, showing her nips in that scene in particular.
I missed it.
And I'm sure she shows her tits. I'm pretty sure.
I missed her tits. I might have to rewatch this.
You're gonna have to, because I mean, back to not to get too into that, but like all these women fucking roles right now, all these girls are going in. Yeah, every single one of them, they're going hard. And I mean, she just did like a product line release where she actually showed her tits. But in a movie like that, mixed in with some gay stuff, it really goes into some character development here. There's a big turn here.
Yeah, so she's pretty much telling Patrick, don't beat him. If you beat him, it's gonna crush him, dude, and he's gonna be all fucked up. Like you can't do that to him.
Right.
So by the time that you finally get to that final 7 days in hell, you know what's at stake for fucking everybody. You know, all these people's history, all the bullshit that they've put each other through.
Right.
There's a lot on the fucking line here. And then Tashi, you know, right after that conversation where she's just like, fuck you, stay the fuck away from me, and blah, 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 goes up to her room because he gave her his number. And what does she do? Immediately gets his fuck. I think she has a talk with Art, right?
Right.
Basically, Art's already like, I already know what the fuck is going on, dude. Right. And yeah, you're right. I am going to retire, and I am done. I'm done with this shit.
Right.
Immediately, she's like, all right, bitch, if you're fucking done, I'm not fucking done.
Right.
I'm going to hit this guy up right now and fucks him in like a fucking parking lot
in the middle of a storm.
Where at first they tell each other, she tells him off like crazy, but you know that's fucking.
I think she spits in his face.
That's like so angry that she's about to bang him. There's no other
the anger
conclusion.
Anger bang.
It's just a lot of repressed stuff there between them, right? She straight up knows that she fucked this guy over, and now whatever, she has decided that he's scum and she hates him, but at the end of the day, she still knows he's a good tennis player and wants to bang him.
Career move.
And they bang, and then they're like laying in the back seat, and it's like intimate and shit. He's like holding her and stuff, and it's like, oh man. And this is the one point where you maybe start to feel a little bit bad for Art, because you're like,
right.
He's over there with his kids while this chick was just like, you know what, fuck this. I'm gonna go over here and fuck this guy. Or maybe she said she was just gonna go over there and tell him off, and she did that, but then she fucked him.
Right. And then homeboy's on a rigorous, like he's eating, like the guy's life is so fucking monotone. It's fucked up, right? Because they got to stick to something, and he obviously doesn't have a passion for it. And then for someone to just be taken out of love to something that they're really good at by a person is pretty fucked up. And then that person doesn't give a fuck about your fucking sacrifice is where it gets a little bit fucked up. I think you're right. Probably for that moment, you're kind of like, man, poor Art.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, man,
fuck Art.
Yeah. Fuck him.
Poor Art, but fuck him.
Yeah.
After this, you finally get to the match. And
well, there's 3 sets, right? It's broken down into 3. The game is linear, and exactly how Tashi's character describes, like it goes down in that process, gives you the backstory, and now you're literally at the final end, right? This is literally down to the point. You know, you see the fatigue, you see all that shit, you see all of this, and this is like the day before, right? Like the night before or some shit.
Yeah,
an hour before they go. Homeboy needs to get ready and shit.
Yeah,
and it brings you into the final set, or for the final whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah. The final game. Right? And so good old Patrick, he has an ace up the sleeve.
Yes, he does.
To basically guarantee he wins this game, but he's about to fucking throw a bomb out there that's not gonna let fucking Art perform.
Right.
And so he's about to start the match, and he does the tennis racket thing. The signal for I banged Tashi.
Right.
He does that right before the match starts. Fucking.
It's really good.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
Art loses it. You think he at some point it seems like he might just walk off of the fucking match.
Right.
But he keeps his composure. He's like, fuck this bitch.
Well, he gets a point deducted or a warning.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck off. Oh, fuck this. Or what is it? 7 days, right? Oh, fuck that.
But then Art finally, like when they've both played for her that first time, they have another fucking banger of an ass match where it comes down to the wire. They're like tied. They're both probably playing the game of their life. And so it's coming to who's going to score this last point. I don't know if I missed it. I remember. Is there a winner, Or is it not really known? Because I feel like that point wouldn't have counted because Art is like way into flying into the other side of the fucking tennis court.
Right.
Shit.
Right. Can we Google that? Can we pull that up? Hey, what is the last scene of Challengers? Not we know the scene, but like the meaning of.
But I think ultimately the point of the movie is that it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter who wins.
Right.
They both played the fucking game of their life.
Mm-hmm.
And Art, again, I think signifying that he kind of becomes his own man and flies out of where he's supposed to be.
Very gay.
And what happens? He falls right into Patrick's arm.
Exactly. With a big smile.
And they are so happy and they just hug and they're like, we are fucking boys.
Yeah.
I love you, dog. And then Zendaya gets up and just is like, fuck you. Yeah. And then the movie ends.
Right. Which was another part of the thing where it shows her tenacity, right? When she's playing the girl who becomes a champion, she lets out this like roar where she's like, come on, right? She's really amped up. It's her persona in full display.
Yeah.
And she does that at the end of the thing, and you get that intensity because she's that involved into it. And her whole thing was like, I just want to watch good tennis.
Not only that, it's just like, dude, she made that moment happen. If it wasn't for her, that great tennis never would have been played. So at the end of the day, she's just a puppet master puppeting these two gay fucking best friends that love each other
She
so
just
much.
wanted to get off watching good tennis. That's all she wanted. I got big time. Big time on that one. Oh, yeah.
Did you get off during that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Big time. I love it.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, like I liked this movie way more than I thought I was gonna like it. As a matter of fact, when it came out and I was hearing all of the critics talk about how good Challengers was, I was like, get the fuck out of here. I'm not gonna watch Challengers.
Yeah.
Fucking Zendeya's over here.
Right.
Fucking making two dudes make out, getting double I thought she was gonna get double teamed.
Yeah, me too. A little Eiffel Tower action at minimum. I mean, you watched Euphoria.
They're best friends. Come on, man.
You saw it in Euphoria.
You make them make out.
Yeah.
Blow them together.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Come on.
Have some class is what we're saying. But yeah, it was pretty early on in the year. I mean, April. Yeah. I remember I did want to watch the movie because, again, you know, Zendaya, fucking Spider-Man, Euphoria. She's on.
Well, Zendaya right now there's not a lot of young Hollywood like celebrities that are like prestigious like they used to be. Like whatever. When she was in her early 20s, Julia Roberts was the fucking girl.
Right.
You had actresses that were like that.
Right.
You know.
Right.
There's not many of those now, and actors too.
Right.
They're coming up. Like Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya are both making their plays right now, being like, "Hey, we're taking it this serious, and we are like here to work with good directors and act and well,
push it,
like really be about that, like the Tom Cruise, the Brad Pitts,
right."
There's no now version of them.
Right.
Who's Brad Pitt right now? Nobody. Brad Pitt's still Brad Pitt.
Yep.
Another Brad Pitt didn't come along.
Mm-mm.
Another fucking Tom Cruise didn't come along, you know?
Right.
The fucking movie stars stayed in that era, and there's no movie stars today.
Mm-mm.
And so Zendaya is, because like you said, because of Euphoria and Spider-Man and now this movie and Dune, they are putting themselves to that position where like this movie's probably seen a lot more because of her, you know?
Right.
So yeah, like it's pretty cool, and see what happens, you know, with Zendaya. Hopefully she keeps making good stuff. Hopefully Dune 3 fucking rules.
Yeah, and that's part of this thing that I was getting at earlier about like these new women. You're right. Like there's not a lot of actors or actresses, but actors that are really pushing like that. And Chalamet's one of them. I mean, even Tom Holland, whatever, superhero movies and stuff. But homeboy went for it. You're not getting some half-ass stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Robert Downey in those movies. He's fucking tremendous. You know, even though it's not a movie to be like a movie.
I mean, Tom Holland. He's Spider-Man. I really liked him in The Devil All the Time.
Yep.
I thought he did a great job.
You didn't watch Cherry, but Cherry, he was druggied out just like Zendaya in that fucking Euphoria.
But there's The Devil All the Time was a Netflix movie.
Right.
And I mean, he did Uncharted, which I went to go see.
I didn't watch that.
And I was pretty let down by that. And what else is he doing other than Spider-Man? Right. I really like The Devil All the Time, but it's more like Chalamet. Chalamet's the one that's out there working with good directors and making good choices. Tom Holland got Zendaya. He's the fucking art in there.
Right. He did do that Tsunami movie. I don't know. Did you watch that?
Yeah, he was a kid though. He was still on the come
It was pretty good though, as like a young cat.
Yeah, he was also in The Lost World of Z or Lost City of Z.
Lost City, yeah.
Did you watch that movie?
I got like halfway.
Oh, that's a good fucking movie.
I was pretty tired. I snoozed.
It's a long one.
Yeah.
But it's pretty awesome. By the end of it, it's pretty sick.
Okay.
He's in that one. He was in things like as he was coming up.
Right.
But now that the Spider-Man movies came out and he arguably has the world at his fingertips.
Yeah, he doesn't have to trip. He's chilling.
He made Uncharted instead of trying to make, I don't know. I guess it all depends on what's out there to be made.
Well, yeah, I mean, you see fucking Robert Downey do what? Dr. Dolittle or some bullshit right after, so then you get Oppenheimer.
Right.
So you're like, hey, I expect that from these actors, but you're right. There aren't actors or actresses like that. And now these female fucking roles, they got to go for it. They got to show a little bit more, and a lot of them are. And they're giving performances.
It's straight up. Marvel came and fucked movies up forever because there was, why there is no fucking celebrities like that or like actors that are like held up to that standard or that pedestal is because, like Tarantino said, these Marvel movies came along and Chris Evans, although you and me know the name Chris Evans, he's not Chris Evans, he's Captain America.
For sure.
Captain America is the reason why people are showing up to that movie, not because of Chris Evans.
Right.
Same thing goes for basically all of those fucking movies, with the exception of Robert Downey Jr.,
right,
who was already established and a great actor.
Yeah.
And then came, and if it wasn't for him, probably none of this shit would have happened because he crushed it.
And not only that, a lot of people got exposed to Robert Downey Jr. and only upheld that role to what it is. And now you're like, oh, fuck, Oppenheimer. And unless you're really a fan.
Dog.
Yeah.
He's so fucking
Are you kidding? Exactly.
Zodiac.
How many fucking people were like, yes, I'm going to go. I mean, of course, after once you watch anything he does, you're going to be like, I'm going to watch his movies, right?
Yeah.
But, coming in before the superhero thing, I definitely do appreciate that, opposed to getting the Tom Holland effect of a good actor whose real prestige came in because of these superhero movies. Right. And it's kind of like, well, okay, Robert Pattinson's kind of on the same boat.
Yeah,
great
also,
actor, just kind of had these
Adam
roles.
Driver. I guess Adam Driver's there.
Okay,
he's on there. He's working with Michael Mann. He's working with good directors, making interesting movies. Not all of them work, but he's out there and he's trying. And I really like Adam Driver. Do you ever see his SNL shit?
Yeah,
he's fantastic.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
He's funny as in he plays everything. So he'll say the silliest dialogue, but he'll play it completely fucking straight.
Yeah, he's in.
Where it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
like that's how good of an actor he is.
Yeah. No, it's good.
But
respect it.
And these two guys that were in this movie, Mike Faist and Josh O'Connor. Josh O'Connor, I haven't seen him in anything.
No.
Mike Faist, he was in this movie, The Bike Riders, that came out last year. He was not in it for very long. but I did see him in that movie. I really liked that movie too. Well, I guess Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's another one, but he's also already been doing it for a minute. You know, Tom Hardy has a little bit of prestige behind his name.
Right.
There's a new Tom Hardy movie that's been like an action movie that's been like in production for a really long time. It's finally gonna come out. Can't remember what it's called, but he's another guy that like he was so fucking good, and I really wish he had done more with his ability, you know. As much as I liked the Venom movies and he was great in them, like they did take a lot away from what he could have done, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the choices, right? That's what you see, and you kind of have to give it to these actors, especially Zendaya, given her notoriety now and everything, and the fact that she's doing these kind of niche movies as well, but also being in the limelight and just, you know, owning it.
Just got engaged with Tom Holland. Like, she is probably the celebrity that gets the most attention for anything that she does that has nothing to do with movies. Because she showed up to the premiere of this movie like in that fucking iron suit. Did you see that?
No.
Let me fucking show you.
But see, that's what I mean. Like, there's levels to the glam and shit, and you see that kind of more in music, right? Because in music, your expression is your craft. That's your product, right? Your expression, and people like to really go for the showman part of it. But when actresses or actors are representing these brands and kind of keeping these trends and shit going, you got to respect that hustle too, right? I mean, she definitely goes in for it. She doesn't give a fuck. She knows she's on top of the world. Yeah. You know? So it's...
This thing. Maybe it was Dune, or I don't know where.
That seems like a Dune thing. I don't think that was fucking...
I don't know. But look at this. It's like
a
really
sexy...
weird. You know what it is?
C-3PO?
It's Lord Zed from fucking... from Power Rangers. Remember that
Yeah,
suit?
You're right.
That's what it is.
Wow. Now I feel weird about it.
Now I'm turned on by Lord Zed and I don't like it.
Just got off.
Fucking challengers.
Wow.
But anyway, great movie. I really liked it. And again, this movie got zero love at the Oscars, and a lot of people were expecting it to at least get something.
It was very early on in the year, man. Maybe
no screenplay, no editing. A lot of people were like, the editing in this movie is really fucking good.
Yes, it
really
was.
Stylish,
yeah,
really
super
inventive. The music didn't get nominated. It won the Golden Globe. They won the Golden Globe for it. Didn't even get nominated. When you look at that movie, and I haven't seen Emilio Perez yet, but when you look at that, when it comes to the style of filmmaking, what film do you think was better directed?
Dude, Challengers by a fucking landslide, bro. And see, back to the whole female fucking thing right now, you're having these singers fucking do acting, and I'm not saying that she was god awful. I mean, she wasn't, but she definitely was. And, you know, now these people are getting the recognition, and they're being pushed. Like, this is a big narrative. They're pushing this person, even if they're making fun of it. It doesn't matter. Ariana Grande finds herself in the same boat because she's in this Wicked film, and everyone loves Ariana anyways. So let's go watch and give her all her fucking flowers.
Have you seen Wicked?
I haven't. I'm going to, but
you're gonna have to do it.
Especially, again, going back to all these females doing the shit right now. Honestly, it's kind of been a treat. You see this shit, you're kind of like, okay, so this is what's gonna be like the base legacy build of these girls going into film like that. You know, we just saw Demi Moore get something super fucking late in her life.
Right.
Someone who's been sexualized. Bruce Willis is all I have to say, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Bless.
Yeah. You know, he's not R.I.P. yet, but you know, it feels sad.
When you see pictures of him now, you're like, fuck.
It hurts, man. It hurts. But yeah, you see Demi Moore get some shit, and she's mixed in with the young crowd and everything too. And you see these pushes for these movies, and that's why we wanted to talk about it as well.
I mean, where did these Oscars get off? Bruce Willis is now incapable of acting. He's one of the fucking great stars, action stars. I know there's plenty of movies where he half-assed it. There's plenty of movies where he fucking rocked the shit out of it.
Absolutely.
Where's Mr. Willis's fucking award?
Right.
Are we gonna let Bruce Willis die and not honor him? This is what I'm talking. This is the bullshit.
They'll make an award.
They need to make
a lifetime award.
Why isn't there like a fucking action Oscar? You know?
Right.
That's how you give.
That's how you
guys
get cool
an award.
shit. Yeah, exactly.
Are the Oscars saying that action movies are not as good? Are they saying that horror movies are not as good?
Right.
Science fiction movies are not as good? Guess what? Those are the best ones. Those are the most innovative things that are like move forward filmmaking, new techniques.
Right.
With fucking Stanley Kubrick in 2001, Christopher Nolan, fucking even Alien Romulus. You know what I was happy about? Alien Romulus got nominated for the visual effects.
Fuck yeah.
I don't think any Alien movies ever been nominated.
Right.
But
or a monster movie, right? I mean, other than what, like Godzilla or something, maybe? Did
Godzilla
get something? Yeah.
It won Best Visual Effects last year.
Yeah. That's like a legacy. I mean, sure, Alien is also legacy, but like, you know,
I mean,
like
at least they recognize that because, again, you cannot deny that Alien Romulus, despite the fact that some people did not like that movie, was fucking beautiful.
Yeah. And they've been and that's part of it. It all leads to that. So like if you're saying this guy who directed Challengers is also doing some other crazy shit, it's only going to get better because this was an enjoyable movie in that sense where it was just pretty. Like it's like that A24 style shit, right? They go for those shots because they know at least you'll take that and be like, oh, well, that was really nice to look at.
Well, the poster, the poster of this movie, it's Zendeya's face with her mom haircut and her sunglasses. You see both of the guys in her sunglasses.
Right.
Even the poster gives you a sense of the filmmaking.
Right.
Those are the kind of shots. You get those shots of where you're seeing POV tennis, where you're literally seeing like the ball is the camera.
Like,
you're
the tennis ball.
Like there's innovative shit going on here. Like,
the under the court was a really cool scene. I like that one where it's like see-through. That was cool.
This is filmmaking right here. Done and at a high level and not being recognized at all.
Snubbed. Just pushed aside a little bit.
And like I was saying, like last year, and then I'm the only one making this fucking case for it, but like The Killer and shit, you know? Like nobody fucking was talking about that shit when it came to awards time. It's like, but look at the filmmaking in that film. Like, you don't think this shit should be recognized?
And see, that's where we fall back into the whole consumer critic, whatever. Wherever you stand, where we stand is like, if you're not appreciating the visual depth along with the craziness of the story and all of the above, and I'm sure, yes, of course, I'm not saying fucking people don't pay attention to that shit, but people just want to watch Wicked. People just want to watch Amelia Perez and be like, Well,
I wonder. There is like Netflix puts out their numbers. When we do Amelia Perez, I will do some research as to how are the numbers? How many hours have been watched?
Right.
Where is it on the top 10? Or
and I understand that it transcends obviously a cultural transcendence.
It's speaking in a moment of time we are living in right now.
Yeah, exactly. And just like this, and just like Wicked, and just like all these other movies, it's now. And personally, it's pretty cool that it's happening now. You get to see like the jump. From this point on, it should be this. Timothée Chalamet is going to be doing better shit, you know. I haven't seen the Bob Dylan movie. Here it's fucking great, you know. Listen to him on Theo. He sounds like a dude who's just exactly what you were saying. About the craft, gonna do it to the best that he can.
Yeah.
I'm super down with
Tom
that.
Cruise. Tom Cruise taking every movie he does completely serious.
Right.
People think he's crazy. But guess what? He's putting everything
You
into
get an MI, bro.
He hung off a plane.
Yeah.
Guys.
Fucking jump.
Fuck you guys that sit out there and talk shit about Tom
parachute
Cruise.
off a fucking cliff. What
done.
the fuck?
I'm done here.
Enough.
Give Tom Cruise a fucking Oscar too. Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he just signed up to do a movie with a good director, which he's been not really making movies with anybody other than Christopher McQuarrie for I don't know, like 7 years or something.
Did you see? Sorry to tell here, but you know how he did The Mummy, and then we saw The Invisible. You see this Wolfman stuff coming out?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I haven't heard great things about. I'll probably watch it. I don't know if I'll go to the theater to see it. I heard that there's really visually cool stuff, real like cool things about the movie, but that overall the movie itself is kind of like okay.
Well, that's what all these movies have kind of been, right? With the fucking Tom Cruise machine behind it for The Mummy. I liked the movie. It was visually fucking cool.
You and me are still alone on that idea of the Mummy remake.
I'll ride that wave till death, just out of respect. You know,
look, dude, being a fan of movies also means sometimes defending shit that other people will call you crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a shit. Tom Cruise shot at a mummy.
Right.
I'm fine with it.
I'm okay with it. Turns, it's great. It's what you want. And then, you get The Invisible Man, which I recently listened to our episode on that. And still feel the same way. But, it's a little lackluster.
But there's cool shit in
there is movie. Good stuff. Yeah, exactly.
There's good filmmaking in that movie.
And I feel like Wolfman,
whatever its message is, at the end of the day, I will roll our fucking eyes.
Yeah.
But the filmmaking is good. That's what matters. And we'll see with the Wolfman. That was supposed to be Ryan Gosling,
right?
And it didn't work out. I mean, if you replace Ryan Gosling with some guy I've never heard of, that's probably not a good sign,
right? And then you don't get a lot of them anyway. So it's kind of like, would that have been a waste? Who knows? But even still looking back at that film, like, even though preachy, very like glorified, really, like you root for this fucking character. You're not thinking she's some despicable bitch fucking up some relationships here. You know what I mean? And then now this Wolfman fucking movie is gonna have Ruth. I know you didn't watch Ozarks. No. Of course not. And you love Jason Bateman, so I don't know why you don't.
Horrible Bosses. I've seen it probably as for like the amount of time Ozark.
That's the movie.
I've seen Horrible
all
Bosses.
Seasons, every episode.
That's how many times I watch Horrible Bosses. That's not true. I've seen Horrible Bosses like twice.
Right,
but it's good.
It is good.
Charlie Day is fantastic.
He's great in that one.
Colin Farrell.
Yep, everyone's good.
Jamie Foxx. I don't like Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is awesome in that fucking movie.
But Ruth from Ozark has been crushing it. She did another show on Netflix, and now is going to be in this one. And it's kind of weird because you see her as this hillbilly redneck bitch who didn't give a shit about fuck, literally her words. It's trippy. And now, you're going to see her with this, and we'll find out. It probably won't be that good, but either way,
probably not.
We're going to watch it.
Yeah.
Out of respect for
all right,
for what these movies mean.
Let's wrap this shit up. What do you give Challengers?
I'll give it an 8.
Me too.
Yeah.
A solid 8. Mm-hmm. Maybe with rewatches, I might end up liking. It might move up to an 8.5 or something. Yeah. We'll see. I have to rewatch it to see if Zendeya's nips are in it or not.
Yeah. You'll rewatch.
Find out.
Yeah, they are.
Might be an 8.2 after.
For the 1, 2, yeah.
But anyway, guys, thank you for listening. Make sure you follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook. We are on Letterbox now. I am Electro MPH on Letterbox.
Mine's Bono MPH.
So go on there, follow us on there, see what we're up to, what movies we're watching. We're brought to you by Salad Bites Media each and every episode. Our producer, Ozzy Boy, out there doing his thing. He's got a lot of podcasts on the network. Make sure you check them out. Give them a goog.
Yep, check them out. Yelp them out.
Yeah. You got anything else, Bono?
No, that's going to be it for me.
All right. Sayonara, Sammy.
Later.
Electro and Bono Movie Power